The truth about the angels that few know of. Can you imagine the Holy Trinity coming to visit you? This is what happened to Abraham. This is before two of them, as two witnesses, went to Sodom and Gomorrah to visit Lot. Can you imagine talking to the Holy Trinity? You know, Jesus Christ is alive, and he has appeared to many people since his resurrection. He used to appear to his disciples, his apostles, with various faces. And saints do that as well. Now, he has given us an angel to guard us at our baptism. We have our guardian angel, but there are, as we know, 9 leagues of angels. The 10th one was the fallen league with Satan and his minions. And every Christian, as we know, is to take that part of the fallen league. That's why we have the images of St. John the Baptist wearing wings in his icons. He is, of course, the first to enter and start that league of the 10th, who we will replace. Now, what about angels? What are they? Are they there? Are they real? Well, we have seen angels many times in our church. You usually see them during mysteries such as baptism or a wedding or the Holy Eucharist, the Holy Liturgy. But people have also seen them when they were praying. For example, the Annunciation of Angel Gabriel to our Holy Mother. Kindly support my Patreon account since YouTube has again demonetized my YouTube channel. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. And many times we see them in the church or before we go to church, especially around Easter, which is the biggest feast of Christendom, or even at Christmas. Now, what are angels? Are they real? Yes, we've seen them. And they don't have wings, but they are of uncreated light. So if so, what can their form be? Well, we have seen them as humans. They have the form of a human, the ones we saw in our church, for example. Do they have feathers? Do they appear in white costumes as usually depicted? They don't have feathers. They don't have wings, but they are white, uncreated light. Now, we read different perspectives and they come from the Lord through channeling. There are, though, systems of help, prayer, and it's complicated. It's very difficult to discuss. There's so much to be discussed concerning angels. Now, where are they? They're always next to us. We may even see them when we're praying, whether we're walking, sitting, or even just lying in bed. We have our guardian angels taking our prayers to the throne of God, as we know. Where are they? What are they doing? Where do they come from? They're immortal, as we know. Now, physical visits, angels appear when needed and come from the source of God. It happens at various points in time, both for humanity in general and also personally for individuals. And every time they appear, it's spectacular. Not one of them has a physical condition. They're non-material, but they exist. People decided again that when an angelic entity visits them, in order to give the visit prestige and explanation, they must put skin and feathers on it and give it a name. And they paint their icons of costumes with in white usually, and put a halo and refer them to the spiritual story, but they do not have such an appearance. They are multidimensional beings and not tangible. Now, perhaps Moses describes the appearance of an angel in the clearest way, like a burning bush, a fire that is not consumed by itself, or a swirling iridescent sphere. It's a good description of angelic energy. Indeed, the burning bush was an angel, and the dramatic thing about angelic energies is that they appear when you least expect them, like an energy ball coming to you, and sometimes they appear penetrating a wall. They just appear. They are iridescent, some with the appearance of fire, and have a tendency to perhaps frighten us because we don't expect it. But many a times our Lord God does not bring fear because we just know that He somehow gives us godly peace, and we accept the fact that it is an angel. Now, every reference in the scriptures to an angel's visit states that he immediately says, "Do not be afraid." So why be afraid of a beautiful woman in white costume and halo? Well, they're not man or woman. They don't have gender, as we know. They're genderless. But they don't have beards either. Now, angels say this because they do not look like that. And they're not here to scare us, but rather to present themselves in their beauty and grandeur, so great that some may not even see them. They are majestic. And now, something you didn't expect. It is a collective action. There is no angel for a person. You may see him as an angel as you see your body as an individual entity, but you do not know the makeup of the angelic powers. Angels speak with many voices, but they speak within your head, within your heart, your soul, not outwardly like a sound or vibration like we speak to each other. They speak individually to one person, but it is the collective voice of many that is perceived as sounds. And I've translated this is just too much, but I think there's a lot to be said about angels. Now, we have seen an angel in our church at the time when a little boy was being baptized. His family was not Christian, but he wanted to be baptized, and he was about 10 years old. And in the Christian Orthodox baptism, first you do the exorcism. And when we were taking pictures of him, because we didn't have a photographer, it was a poor church and a poor family, and I was holding the camera, and we saw this being of white, of uncreated light, standing next to the priest who was reading the exorcism prayers before the baptism begins, before the acceptance of Christ. And one of my friends, one of the ladies there, saw me with my mouth agape as a shock, not a shock, but an enthusiastic ecstasy and surprise. And she was making notions with her hands, like saying, "What's going on? What is it?" And I motioned to her, "Come over here," so she could see. And I pointed to the screen on the camera. "What is that?" She said, "That's an angel." And we couldn't see the angel with our eyes, but we saw it on the screen of the camera. Now, the camera, something was wrong with it. It has a tiny little button that you have to press to take a picture of it, but my thumb was so thick something was wrong with it. Anyway, I couldn't take a picture of it. I later told that to my father confessor, and he says, yes, sometimes, because of the fact that the human eye can't see all frequencies of light. That's why the camera picked it up, but our eyes couldn't see it. But I had a witness next to me that we had the angel of uncreated light right next to the priest. And he had long hair, wavy, going down his back, off his shoulder, the back of his shoulders. He was wearing robes, uncreated light again. He had no beard or anything. He was like he was beautiful. He was like a young, beautiful, handsome, like 25-year-old, okay? And he was listening to every word of the priest. He had his hands crossed over his waist and looking at the little boy. And we said to each other, the lady, my friend and myself, we talked about this after, and we said perhaps that was his guardian angel waiting to be next to him all his life. It was just unbelievably beautiful and unforgettable, and I wanted to share that with you. God bless you, and especially on this Easter Paschal season, let's not forget our Lord Jesus Christ. Let's love him with all our heart and soul. There are too many who don't. This again I've translated, and I've given you my personal experience so that you will believe that God has so many things to give us. Thank you and bless you. And if you have any comments, please leave them. Thank you for your support.